Thanks for staying with us on Ringgit Sense Plus. You're still with me, Azaria Tagaya. Now, starting next week, there will be a series of property fairs throughout the country to help promote the National Home Ownership Campaign. Many developers will be offering large discounts, some more than 10%, to help clear the large property overhang in the market. The government is also throwing in incentives like stamp duty exemptions to help first-time home buyers. We wanted to help first-time home buyers prepare themselves before visiting these property fairs with our next story. Earlier in the show, we talked to Jordan Tan and Noel Chu, a young couple that have recently purchased an apartment. Both of them also work at a property consultant company and have experience helping customers find the right home.
The first thing that as a house buyer you want to know is that how much can you afford, where you want to stay. Yeah, and then I have always advised them also stick to HDA approved properties. Yeah, HDA actually refers to the housing development. Just think of it as a standard. Yeah. So this body is created by the government. They actually try to regulate the housing market. So if they deem this property as a house, is for residential use, they will tell the developer to regulate it, and you will build according to our specifications. The corridor have to be at least this feet. The door have to be this size. You need to have a window for every room for ventilation purposes. So if you were to buy a house, we highly advise you to look at HDA properties because they are your legal backing. Yeah. They will tell you things that you do not even know, but you will need in the future.
HDA actually regulates the company to enforce them to deliver the property on time. So you don't have this tergendala, this abandoned project that will drag on for 10 years.
Yes.
You know that you receive your property by a certain time, and if the developer does not fulfill that, you will be compensated accordingly.
We also asked them what questions would they ask housing developers.
I was, to be honest, I was actually very overwhelmed. There were so many properties in the market, and all these salespeople, they are very good. Yeah, so I try to ask them things which put them, in my position. How long have this property been in the market? Why? I mean, to be honest, why is it not sold until today? Yeah, people have been telling me that if you find it in the open market, it's probably not good. Is it true? Did you buy any property here yourself? Yeah, if it's as good as you say it is, why didn't you buy? Yeah, and are there any more development coming nearby around this property? These are the kind of things that you want to be asking to the person who is selling.
Now, we also spoke to the Honorary Secretary General of the National House Buyers Association, HBA, Datuk Chang Kim Leung, to get his views on the topic. And he gave us 3 tips on how to prepare yourself before visiting a property fair. Firstly, find out whether the land that the property is built on is of residential title or commercial title. Residential title attracts residential tariffs, where commercial title attracts commercial rates. This means things such as the electricity, water, and Indah water services will all be charged commercial rates, whereas the tariffs for residential title land is typically lower. The second thing you want to look at is the developer's track record, seeing as there have been lots of abandoned projects or projects that have been delayed. Consumers can do a quick check on this at the website for the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. And last but not least, HBA advises consumers to examine the quality standard of the developer. HBA has also suggested that the Ministry of Housing come up with a home ownership education program. This is to raise the financial literacy among consumers in order to fully understand the intricacies of buying property. This includes pre-purchase education, such as undertaking the process of budgeting to buy a house, coming up with the initial deposit, and understanding the types of loans that are in the market. According to HBA, also crucial is post-purchase education. After buying a house, consumers must know how to budget for monthly expenses. Also, find out what are the expenses that need to be paid, like maintenance charges and service charges. A final tip for consumers before visiting a property fair or looking at housing options is to never be hasty. Datuk Chang Kim Leung of the National House Buyers Association, HBA, advises consumers to never feel compelled to make a purchase on the spot. Our young couple, Jordan and Noel, concur with this view.
Don't ever go into a property fair and say, oh, this guy is very charming, I will give him my money and I will buy the house now. You do that, tomorrow you will change your mind. You are buying a house is not buying a vegetable from a market, not buying sayur, So understand that it takes time to let this idea sit in. You go to a property fair, your plan is to meet people, keep in touch. If you find it attractive after you sleep today, get in touch with them again tomorrow.